Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to give you 5 tips on getting the right seating position in your car. Now it's more important than you might think to get the correct seating position. If you don't have your seat adjusted correctly, it can affect your ability to operate the controls properly. It can affect your ability to see out of the car. It can affect your ability to give smooth inputs. If you're uncomfortable in the car, that can affect your concentration levels over a long period of time. If you're on a long journey, you get aches and pains building up. And you can be really uncomfortable over a longer period of time. So it's important that we make the right adjustments to the car and the right adjustments to the seat at the start of the journey to make sure that you are good to go. So the 5 tips for getting the correct seating position are: get the seat height adjusted first, then adjust the seat for your legs, then the seat backrest, then we adjust the steering wheel, and finally the mirrors. So the first tip when you're adjusting your seating position is get the seat height correct first. I'm a bit of a funny shape. I have short legs and a very long back. So because of that, I like the seat as low as possible in the car. Now that's not going to be right for everybody. The most important thing that we're looking for when we're adjusting the seat height is to get a good view out. But obviously I prefer not to have my head banging off the ceiling as well. So you need to have a good view out, you need to have a good view of the controls, and a good view in the mirrors as well. If your seat height is incorrect, you can end up with, if you're too high up, you can end up with the roof and the sun visors, even when they're folded up, intruding in your vision. And if your seating position is too low, you end up sort of struggling to see over the steering wheel and over the top of the windows. So pretty much most cars these days have got a height adjustment. In this it's electric, some it's a mechanical adjuster. Just get the height adjusted first before you do anything else. Forget about your legs and the steering wheel, get that seat height adjusted first. And the second tip is to then adjust the seat for your legs. Now if you're driving a manual car, there's a good tip. You put your foot on the clutch pedal and press the clutch pedal to the floor. With the clutch pedal on the floor, you should still have a slight bend in your left leg. I haven't got a clutch pedal, so same with the accelerator. If I press the accelerator all the way down, I should still have a reasonable bend in the leg. And I should mostly be operating the car's controls from the ankle rather than from the hip. Now, if you put your seat too far back, you end up struggling to stretch for those pedals, and the worst thing possible there is that you're struggling to stretch for the brake pedal, and we want to make sure we've got full travel on that brake pedal. But again, if you can't press the clutch all the way down, you're not going to have full control of the clutch when you're releasing that. So just adjust it so that in this car I've got a slight bend in the leg when my foot is pressing the accelerator all the way down. The third tip, remember we should be doing these in order, is to adjust the seat's backrest to the right position for you. Now again, it's a bit difficult this, but I want you to forget about the steering wheel because we're going to adjust the steering wheel separately in a minute. But your backrest, again, should have you relatively upright in the car, so you have a good view out, but also comfortable. So if we've got it too far forward, and I see a lot of people sitting a long way forward like this, you end up a little bit hunched at the hip and your hip point is up a little bit, and that can affect your comfort in your lower back. And over a long journey there's nothing worse than lower back pain. If you've got it too far back, again too far reclined in the car, your head tends to be lower down, your view out isn't good, it tends to stretch your arms out for the steering wheel when we come to adjust that. So I tend to adjust it just so that it's a nice compromise. I've got some angle in my body, I'm reasonably reclined, but I've got a good view out, and again I haven't got too much intrusion from the headlining above me. The fourth tip is to then move on to adjusting the steering wheel. So get the seat right for your legs and your height and angle the seat back. Do all that stuff first, then move on to the steering wheel. Most steering wheels these days are adjustable, not just for height, but they're adjustable for reach as well. Now I like to sit relatively close to the steering wheel. I don't like to have my arms out at full stretch when I'm driving, but also the other important thing to remember when you're adjusting the steering wheel is that as you adjust it, most cars, the dials and the dashboard remain fixed while the steering wheel moves up and down. There's a few cars where the dials move with the steering wheel, but in my car the dials remain where they are, and you've got to retain a good view of all the instruments and all the warning lights on your dashboard. So I tend to adjust it so that I have it pretty much all the way out. And a good judge, if I lock this into position, a good way to judge whether that steering wheel's in the right place is if you sit with your shoulders back in the seat and keep your shoulders back in the seat, put your hands straight forward, and the steering wheel should be somewhere around either your wrist or just that fatty part of your thumb there. That's without me leaning forward out of the seat. So my shoulders back in the seat, hands out, and you'll see that the steering wheel just about touches my wrists just here. So you imagine when I'm driving now, if I put my hand to the top of the steering wheel to pull the steering wheel down, yeah, my arm is probably at full stretch there, but I'm not leaning out of the seat. This is what we want to avoid. We want to be able to operate all the car's controls with our shoulders in the seat back and with our backside firm and square in the bottom of the seat. So get the steering wheel adjusted after you've done the seat. One thing to remember about the seating position as well is I like to feel the sort of base of my spine and the top of my backside nicely enclosed in the bottom of the seat. And that's going to give me a nice comfortable driving position for however long the journey is that I'm going to do. And I think comfort starts from the base of the seat and then works its way up to your shoulders. And if you can concentrate on making sure that your driving position, your seating position is good with your shoulders in the seat, keeping your shoulders in the seat, that's really important. And the fifth tip then is not to forget about your mirrors. If you've got in a car that's new to you, or if you've got in a car that you share with a partner or whatever, the mirrors are never quite going to be adjusted correctly for you. So I tend to start with the centre mirror, and here's a good tip for you with the centre mirror. Don't adjust it with both hands, because look what I'm doing when I adjust the centre mirror with both hands. I'm moving my shoulder, I'm moving my head away from where I'll be when I'm driving. So I adjust the mirror there. When I move back to my seat, my head's gone back to the normal position for driving, and that mirror isn't adjusted correctly. So keep your right hand on the steering wheel, move your left hand up. If you keep your right hand on the steering wheel, your head will stay in the right position for where you'll be when you're driving. Then move your left hand up. Don't put your thumbs all over the glass, because you'll get thumbprints and they'll annoy you if you're anything like me. Just hold the rim, hold the edge of the mirror and adjust it. And what I tend to do is adjust it so this top edge of the mirror is lined up with the top edge of the rear window, and I get a good view out then from the back of the car, and the edges are then lined up with both sides of the rear window. For the side mirrors, adjust them so the inside part of the mirror is showing about 10% of the car, and then the other 90% should be showing a good view to the rear of the car. Make sure you get them tilted to the right angle as well, so you've got a good view behind. So those are my 5 tips for getting the correct seating position in the car. Obviously it's personal to you, and everybody's different shapes. As I mentioned before, I have a long back, so I need a different seating position from somebody who's either shorter or longer in the leg or whatever. But it's important that you get that seating position comfortable for you. It's important that we concentrate on what's important, like getting the view out, getting a good view out, making sure we're not too close to that steering wheel, making sure it's not too far away as well, and that we're in a position to operate the controls correctly. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, got something out of it. If you want more information about advanced and performance driving and riding, motorcycling, go have a look at the website reglocal.com. Also, give us a follow on Twitter @reglocal, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you press the notifications button, you'll get an email every time I upload a new video. But for now, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time.